Jimmy said he could handle this. Oh, he's from Los Angeles. Oh.
Welcome to episode number 38 of the Let's Go podcast. My name is Justin.
My name's Kelly.
But that is not all.
Yep.
We have a really great friend, Matt Ritchie, with us from the Let's Go comic show. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
But screw you, man. That's not even it. That's not even it. We have some special guests. You may have heard them do a little bit of squeaks right there. We don't just have rad friends. We have rad wives.
We got rad
Wives. Wives.
So, welcome to the show for the very first time, our wives. Starting
Our wives.
with my right. Say your name.
Burgundy. Kristi.
Brittany.
Awesome. We are so happy to have you guys on.
Indeed.
It's good to have some ladies on the show, right?
Yeah. Change it up.
Just like the island of Themyscira, it's nice to finally see some ladies. And just like the island of Themyscira, we have a nice breeze coming through. It feels like we're actually there.
Paradise
Yeah.
Island, right
Paradise
here.
Island, right
We're
there.
we're a change of scenery today. We're in
Yeah.
the living room.
So this is a very special episode because it's going to be our Let's Go Wonder Woman crossover, a go-go between both of our shows in the Let's Go universe.
What?
It's going to be amazing.
Mind
like dogs
blown.
and cats living together. It's going to be like that type of a thing. So, but before we get the show going, we got to discuss the rating system. So, Kelly, tell us how the heck that happens.
So we start with never go.
Like never go, don't
This
go.
is basically a 1 to 5 scale.
Yes, it is.
You have never go. We have don't go. We have go. We have let's go. And then gotta go.
That's right. And we're going to find out what type of a movie this was.
And you can
On
give
the
half
next
scores. I've been known to give a lot of let's go and a halves because
Yeah.
it's not quite gotta, but not quite just a let's go.
Yeah, you have like B pluses and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
It's
you know.
not trash juice,
Yeah, it's not trash juice.
but it definitely has some merit. So, but before we even kick this show off, we have to start it off with a very tasty beer. Mm-hmm. Let's do this. Beers, all kinds of beers. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese beers. Glug, 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 glug.
The magic
The
of
future is
editing.
now. Okay, so our good friends, the Richies, brought over a very special Wonder Woman themed beer. I'm just saying that because we're talking about Wonder Woman, but I'll
That
make
makes it
it
Wonder Woman
work.
themed.
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
So Matt, tell us about this tasty brewer. This tasty brewer.
Justin's
right
already
here.
had his.
You've already had
I have
yours.
not. I did not cheat.
Yeah, so this is from the Bruery Terreux, and it's called Goses are Red. And it's a sour wheat ale brewed with salt and coriander with grapes added.
I'm very
I bet
excited
you
about
they had
this.
grapes on Themyscira.
I'm sure.
All right, everybody. So are we all ready to take a tasty sip?
Quick cheers.
Cheers to
Cheers.
buddies
Salud.
and
Welcome to the
Salud.
show.
Clinks.
Or cilantro, as some people say.
Cilantro.
It's a long story for another podcast.
wow. That tastes kind of like a wine beer.
That is
It is.
delicious.
It's pretty tasty. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I could taste the sour. I mean,
Yes.
it is kind of
It's
sour.
yeah.
It
That's
is
good.
sour, actually.
Instant reaction for me. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Matt said let's.
For me, it's just a go.
I say let's go.
Brittany Ritchie.
Let's go.
And my wife, you had a sip,
I'm a party pooper today, and not.
but you had a sip
Drink.
earlier before you cheated and had a sip before all of us.
So when I had a sip, because I'm a cheater, it was tasty. It's got a nice little aftertaste.
So what would you give it?
Let's go.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. Fair enough.
average
It's
score,
refreshing.
A let's go from the brewery. Go check out the brewery.
Yeah. I'm giving
We're
it a
not-
gotta because
can I
I'm.
change my answer?
Oh,
Yes.
I want to say let's
Always.
goes.
Oh, that wins.
It's
You
actually
know,
pronounced Gosa.
We're actually
Whatever.
gonna kick Kelly off the show, and you'll just be on now.
Oh.
We're gonna keep up the humor and the
Wow.
jokes. Hey,
Just
Replace
for
me.
one pun.
just
Wow.
kidding.
One play on words.
Dude.
Come on.
You're just
One
just
play
because
on
of that
words,
joke.
and you're
been 2
set.
years.
He's like, you're not.
You were hanging by a thread and now you're gone. You're done now.
No way, Kelly. You're my boo to the end. All right.
Your
so
bae.
he's my bae and my boo, as if we were Amazon warriors.
Boobay.
Hey.
Sorry, your boobay. Okay, that's
All right.
two. That's
That's
two.
two.
There we go.
Maybe I shouldn't be on
I
this.
think I need another drink.
Maybe I'll
to
just
catch
start
up with
recording
her.
everything.
We can
and
make
then
a
just have
drinking
my way.
game out of it.
Hey. All right. So now that we're here, I'm really excited to talk about the Wonder Woman movie. So this is the first part of the show. is going to be just about what is our first encounters with Wonder Woman, or what does Wonder Woman mean to you? And I wanted to start it off with the ladies. So, Brittany, tell me about, what do you think of when you think about Wonder Woman, or what does she mean to you? And that could be nothing. You could be like, nothing. I don't know nothing about Wonder Woman. So speak your heart before all of us.
I think she's a really rad character. I mean, she's got the strength and smart and just the balance of that. And I think, as women, we want to be both of those things. We want to be strong. We want to be smart. And so to see that in a comic or a movie, I think is good for women.
Did you ever have, before the movie came out and you even heard about it, was there ever like, little boys are like, oh, I'm Spider-Man or I'm Superman. Like, did you ever be like, oh, did you feel a connection to Wonder Woman at all?
Yeah, she's always been my favorite character. I like, Matt's shown me different outfits she's had, and we've just talked about. That sounds
so much weirder than it actually is.
Have you seen these?
Oh,
boots?
okay. We see how it is. We see how it is.
Let's clarify that is a drawing on a page.
I'm just
Drawing on
gonna
paper.
warn you. I say stupid stuff like that all the time. I'm gonna make your day probably like a few times because I just can't help it. I just,
So tell us about these provocative ensembles Matt has shown you.
not like that. Well, no, just talking about like, sometimes she wore maybe pants, or did she wear a skirt, or those sort of things. And
She had retractable pants.
she probably did, and somebody came up with that.
For the tear-off pants.
But like as women, we play a lot of different roles in life, and sometimes we have to, I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Kristi,
My turn?
What you got?
So believe it or not, I did not read comic books, or I'm not into that
What?
stuff. I know it's embarrassing. I shouldn't be.
Get
showing
right
it
out of
on this
town.
podcast.
Childhood.
So all I know is just from what I've heard from you guys, or just friends, or media, or whatever. But I mean, she's
Fake news.
probably the most famous of the female superheroes.
Yeah.
So just the fact that she could be, when I think Wonder Woman, I think just positive role model,
Yeah.
strength, justice, doing what's right, protecting people. She's got her lasso of truth.
Yeah.
So doing the right thing and helping people.
Cool.
She's
What
pretty
was?
rad.
Well, I'm sorry.
She's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what, as a little girl, did you ever have any like thoughts about her, or were you like, oh man, I saw her from a cartoon or anything, or was it more of a recent thing that you?
Yeah,
came in contact?
unfortunately, no. I didn't really have, like, my role model when I was a kid was Rainbow Bright. So
Gotcha.
I didn't really have the exposure to Wonder Woman and
We are not
stuff
talking
like
about
that.
Rainbow Bright.
But it wasn't until I got older, and I kind of grew up in like a podunk town, so I don't even think I even knew about her until I was high school, maybe.
Wow, you never saw the TV show?
What?
I mean,
My
I've
dad
heard
always played
about
TV
her,
show.
just
I've
like
heard things.
Like Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
Batman,
Linda Carter?
Superman. You hear about them,
Yeah.
but I didn't know anything about her until I was older.
Cool.
So past that phase of kind of being influenced or having role models of
Yeah.
of fictional type, So
Cool. Because I would say out of all three of these ladies here, you're probably the most fictional.
I love it.
Like,
and I
that
love.
sounded weird. You're the one who's made up.
I would say I'm into them now.
Yeah.
But growing up or being an adolescent or someone that was, just got distracted. Kelly just spilled beer all over the rug.
No one needs to know
My
that.
eyes kind of popped out of my head.
We're not keeping this rug anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought now. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll come back. This train's going to be going in circles.
Cool.
All right, Berg. Tell me about your Wonder Woman inclinations or your first experiences.
My first experience. Well,
Or first, what does she mean to you?
what does she mean? Okay, that's two separate questions.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the first one. My experience with Wonder Woman has been since I was, a young girl. I actually had these Wonder Woman. Do you remember those footies? They were like half slippers, half socks, and they had those little like beads at the bottom of the feet. So you put them on, you have traction, but you can wear them all day and maybe something. Well, I had Wonder Woman footies, and so those were really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, I was like pretty much brought up with superhero, paraphernalia in the house. So my dad was, and my mom, they were both pretty big on it, I guess. So yeah.
Nice.
What does she mean to me?
Yeah.
I think she epitomizes strength and humility, and like Kristi said, with the lasso of truth, it's so bad as in good bad. Bad, good,
bad A.
Bad
As in
A.
bad A.
Yeah, as in bad A.
you can
I don't know if we can say that.
You can
Are
say
we
it.
allowed to say
Yeah,
that?
you can say
You
it.
can say
Okay,
that.
well, I said it, so there. She's
So,
pretty
it was
hardcore.
said.
Yeah, no, she's pretty awesome, and I think she's a really good role model, especially for younger women and girls, and so yeah.
Awesome. So I was going to ask the guys. We know Matt has a huge obsession with her outfits. So tell me some.
Sorry, babe.
How did
Well,
was
some
your first
fit better than
experience?
others.
Yes.
But for me, Wonder Woman has been there, kind of present all along, right alongside characters like Superman and Batman. Whenever, I'm coloring, Justice League coloring books growing up, Wonder Woman, Cheetah, those characters were always in the mix right along with Superman and Batman. And so I think that exposure's always been there, and I knew the TV show, but I didn't watch it a ton. But she was always, I thought, one of the coolest parts of the old Justice League cartoon.
Old Super Friends?
Sorry, not old Super Friends,
Oh,
but
the
the Bruce Timm stuff. I'm like, dude, she could fly, and she's super strong, and she's telling Superman he's being stupid. You know what I mean? She's
like, man,
she's had it all together, and I think getting to know the character more, some of the stuff that I've really loved about Wonder Woman is it's power, but it's put to specific purposes and through control. It's not this broad, just I can do whatever I want, but she's no, she could crush someone, but she uses a lasso to get people to tell the truth. She has, you know what I mean? She helps people out, and there's a lot of stuff that isn't inherently violent or the kind of she uses swords and stuff, obviously, but I feel her primary stuff is more to kind of protect the little guy and to care for people. But she does it by kicking ass and taking names, you know what I mean? And so I think there's this cool embodiment for her where it's not this super limited view of what a superhero or a woman is, but it's kind of this all-encompassing thing that seems to be a really cool mix that I think you don't get with many other characters in general.
Cool. Right on. All right, Kelly Bear.
That was deep.
I know, dude. That
Sorry.
was wow.
Now my answer just feels like,
No, your answer is you.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
So tell me.
Is it me?
tell me.
Okay.
It's me.
So what the only my
just your
memory
first
of
memories.
my first memory, because I'm not a comic reader and I never was, TV shows.
Yeah.
So Linda Carter,
Oh, yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Whoa. I didn't
Wow.
He's up there. Oh yeah,
I'm sitting right here just huh?
nothing. No, but I kind of agree with what Matt was saying. It's admirable to see a character where the strength is present but not being used. She's more for truth and non-violent means of resolution, as opposed to I'm just going to come down here and kick your ass.
Yeah.
Basically. So I don't know. It's definitely male female dichotomy. It shows the best. It exemplifies a female superhero.
Yeah.
I think that.
So I never saw the TV show. Do you guys feel like that was a good representation of who she is? And
I think
Her
in the
story?
time, it's, just
It was the 70s.
characters are are malleable.
it was
You know,
interesting to say the least.
There was a just kind of, so I can piggyback off that. That was my first introduction. My dad always watched the Wonder Woman. It was always on. We watched the Wonder Woman, and to us it was just a show we would watch, and it was cool. And she had the bracelets, and she's like, bing, 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 bing. And so
Aren't
she was
those
just
called gauntlets?
her
Okay.
bracelets.
Got it.
So it was
Bracelets?
Corrected,
Bracers? Is
sir.
that what they're called?
Corrected.
it was just part of my superhero vernacular, kind of like, oh, she was part of it. She was, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, whatever. Like, it wasn't to me like, oh, she's a girl. It was just like, I didn't think like, oh, I don't want a Wonder Woman action figure. I never thought that. It was just like, oh, she's part of the team. Like she
She's one of the
serves
homies.
her purpose, and it wasn't, it's hard because like toy companies made very small runs of girl figures because like no one bought them, but like I always wanted one. But anyways,
Really?
yeah, because if she was on the team, I wanted her.
I know, but even with as popular as like Barbie and stuff, they
It's
didn't
different because
try and
for
capitalize on that.
when it's directed mainly at boys, like primarily boys bought action figures, girls didn't buy them. Now it's flipped a little bit. Like that's a whole other story.
Yeah,
like it's
you're
flipped.
right, I
Like
guess.
last year, the Wonder Woman toys were like the #1 selling toy line.
with all
for-
the movies and
well,
how
just like
big the
they have a
universe
whole
is.
thing, directed at little girls called
Yeah.
DC superhero girls, and it's like Wonder Woman, Anyways,
Cool.
so the tables kind of turn. Girls want to have that fun. They want to get a little dirty and have heroes and stuff. So, the Wonder Woman TV show, I think it hit all the marks. Like she was for truth, and she was for sticking up for others, and she still was strong. It was a little more. I think it was a little more cheesecake back then. But
cheesecake.
that's
I like cheesecake.
kind of jiggle, that type of a show. It was like Linda Carter running around in slow motion a lot, but
Yeah.
she still was powerful. It's still she still
Did
hit
you
the
just say
notes.
I think, do they know what the term cheesecake? No. I feel like you said cheesecake, and there was a whole different thing that happened on that part of the room.
Cheesecake
And they
is
all were
kinda
like, oh, yeah,
Dutch
cheesecake. I'm like,
chocolate.
oh, that's not what Justin's talking
Yeah,
about.
okay, so meaning like cheesecake kind of is indicative of like it's like
It's cheesy.
it's kind it's cheesy, but it's kind of like
It's cheesy but sweet.
let's just move on.
No, I think that's a good thing to like. There's terminology, especially in comic books, where cheesecake is like. Think of like beefcake, like a dude. Like you're looking at his body, you're kind of exemplifying the
Got it,
physical
got it.
features of
I
him.
gotcha.
Cheesecake would
Think
be
about
like,
us.
hey, like or it's kind of skimpy and maybe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when he
see
talks
that-
about like the show is more cheesecake, like Linda Carter running in slow motion,
Yeah, yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of
Got
stuff.
It was about the
Right.
Oh, it's an actual
her teeny
term.
tiny waist.
it had that
okay.
it had that part of it, but it also had like she
But
was
just
an icon
cheesy,
and stuff
too.
like that, and so yeah. But so I think it was true. I mean, it's just again like just as like Batman is a character that can be in different, talking about like Adam West who just passed away.
Yeah.
That show was Batman. It was true to Batman for a time, maybe 50s and 60s
Yeah.
comics, but there's also room for like Ben Affleck Batman and so on and so forth. So what was cool coming over just today, we were driving over here and it made me happy is this little girl's outside wearing her Wonder Woman costume and her mom's
Cool.
taking a picture of her and it was like, dude, I was telling Berg, like how cool is it that all these little girls
Yeah.
have like this character to look up to. They've always had it, but now she's so much more at the forefront. That's just how it is with media.
Yeah,
and
because
culture.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's kind of how I grew up. Like I had a cape. I had a cape. I had I had a Spider-Man
I feel
towel.
like I missed out then.
Yeah, like superheroes.
Wanna
were
keep
a big
still have a
deal.
cape. You can get one.
I'll make
It's
you one,
just
baby.
more
People
prevalent
make
now.
them.
I think it's more accepted.
Maybe that'll
to-
be. I'll live vicariously through.
It is, dude. Like
Little
you're
mama.
like Berg's saying, it is more acceptable now for like girls are like
Oh,
out
yeah.
at the cons. They're caught. They're like dressing up, doing cosplay. Like they're writing comics. They're drawing
Right.
comics. It's still
Directing.
directing freaking movie. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
we
like-
even saw like we went to like I think it was like the day Wonder Woman came out. We took our kids out to get some pizza, and it's across the street from the movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
and that place was packed with little girls in costumes. Like the
Amazing.
dads were wearing like
that's
Wonder
cool.
Woman shirts and
That
like
makes
all these
me
things.
tear
And I'm
up
like,
a little.
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. Your little daughter's gonna grow up and
I
like,
know.
Yeah, no, I totally thought of our daughter like watching the movie. I'm like, man, like I'm
Same.
gonna be able to like show her
Yeah.
this and be like, look
Yeah.
how awesome this is.
So I have two questions.
Yeah.
Sorry that I'm thinking about. And I don't know if you would know this, but
everything.
when did Wonder Woman come into existence?
Oh, okay.
Comic wise.
Comic wise, like is she
Yeah.
as old as Batman and Superman and stuff?
Yeah,
Or is
she
a
came out in
fairly new-
1940.
Okay.
I believe it was 1940.
42,
So that's cool.
I think.
it?
It's 75th anniversary this year.
Oh,
Well, actually,
awesome.
she's like hundreds of years old.
Well,
Whoa.
hey,
Literally.
Wow.
Yeah, being literal.
Dang.
Literally.
And then, so follow up to that is, do you know anything about like the history or the background as to how they decided to make a TV show out of it? And
Oh well, I mean, it was. Oh my gosh,
because they
there's
didn't really
so
do.
much.
It was the 70s, right? Wonder
Yeah,
Woman
70s,
the
but she was
show?
already around since the 40s, and she was created by
But
this.
they didn't really make shows like that in the 70s, right?
They made
like,
the Batman show,
Women
and they did a lot
Power
of.
and
Well, if you
stuff
think
like
about what was
that.
on the air, like Charlie's Angels and stuff like that.
Superman
So it was
too,
like it was such
right?
a. Yeah, well, Superman came out in the 50s. That
And
show.
Spider-Man,
There was never a Spider-Man.
Mighty Mouse. Is that not?
Yeah,
okay.
Mighty Mouse.
Sorry.
She's just naming stuff.
He's gonna start naming-
Sailor Man.
Running around.
Oh, there
So-
we go.
Because there's definitely
First
Rainbow
appearance
Bright, I should
was
tell you.
October 1941 in All Star Comics
Yeah.
number 8.
Yeah, so she was created by the guy who created the lie detector test.
Right. So that part,
Okay.
That's
I
cool.
knew.
Hence
Yeah,
the
yeah. So the
lasso
lasso-
of
The lasso of
truth.
truth is like a core component
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
what inspired the lasso. I knew
Yeah.
that.
The
from-
lie detector test.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's that type of stuff
Yeah.
gets me excited.
So there was also some, like if you read about his history, he
Yeah,
has he
he
was
was
really
the-
weird. He's kind of he was like into like he had 2 wives. He was kind of into
He
like,
was,
Oh,
He was
no.
into
He's a
like
little
bondage
weird.
and stuff.
freaky.
Yeah.
So that's why it wasn't. That's why it was the lasso of truth and not the lie detector of truth. Unfortunately,
Wonder Woman's like, hold on, sit down here really quick. Let me put this on your wrist. Hold on now.
Oh, gosh.
He's like rope. So yeah, so she's always been around. I mean, she's been prevalent in like comics. She's always been a
Yeah.
part. Now, if you go back to like the 40s when they did the comics, she was a part of like Justice Society, which was the team of all the guys. They did stuff like, oh, but she's a secretary because it was just stupid back then. Like now she's like,
Is that why they worked in the joke spoilers?
oh yeah,
That
yeah,
she's
yeah,
a
yeah. No,
secretary.
definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
That's
plenty of Easter
totally,
eggs for
totally
sure.
like
Okay.
total. Let's like
Gotcha.
super meta type of stuff. So, yeah, so she's been around forever. It's kind of like, dang, it's taken 76 years for this lady to get up on the screens, but now
Yeah.
it's there. But I think now's actually the right time though for it too. Like I think it would have been done well. Like even 10 years ago, it would have been kind of like. It would have been Sandra Bullock as like Wonder Woman or something dumb.
Oh,
and you're
man.
like, oh, how well would that have been?
Like,
but she
Halle
would have
Berry's
been so adorable.
Halle Berry as
Gotta love
Catwoman.
Legally Blonde. Or, no, no,
Or
not
Halle
Legally
Berry's
Blonde. What was
Catwoman.
that?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Oh
So,
gosh.
yeah,
that
but
exists.
But yeah, no, but
And
that's
its
a really
congeniality.
Yeah, there you go.
that's a really great question though. Like the history, it means something. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But it does have something to say about her longevity. Like she was created in like the 40s, and she's still around. Like there's not a lot of stuff that was created then that's still around. Besides, these characters, heroes
Right.
that have kind of lived on, and stood the test of time, especially like Wonder Woman. So
I think it's cool too because from that we have like Cinderella, those sort of characters, but we really haven't had a powerful superhero female character, and so that's what a total modern day twist. And you're right, I don't think she would have been that successful 10, 20, 30 years ago. We're at a point in our history now where it's more accepted for women to be strong, and I loved how she's not like strong to put somebody down. She's strong to just get stuff done. you know?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Get
So-
it done.
Yeah, so okay, we're gonna start moving into some of that movie stuff. So before we jump into the movie, I wanted to ask questions like, and again, you don't have to have a deep answer, but when you heard about the movie, how did you feel? Like, oh, this movie's coming out, and you start seeing trailers. What did you guys start feeling? And we'll go this way, Bird.
Well, I had no choice but to watch every single trailer every single night. So I kind of it just kind of grew on me, And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how we put our boys to bed was, Dad, can we watch the Wonder Woman trailer? Sure, call your mom. Let's all watch it. So I'd have to say, though, it did get me really excited to, the anticipation working up to it coming out, and then finally it's here, and then having the opportunity to go see it. I wasn't disappointed, but yeah, I was really excited to see it. Wait, was that your question?
Yeah, great job.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So I am really excited anytime any of these Marvel or DC movies come out because I love them so much. But really excited about Wonder Woman. Really, really excited when I found out it was Gal Gadot because I have a big lady crush on her.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you hear
for
about her
sure.
first?
Ugh. Probably Hollywood Babylon.
Oh, really? Like, how did you? But like, where did you first see her in anything?
Hollywood Babylon.
Really?
I'd
podcast?
never seen. Yeah.
She was on a panel there?
No.
They were
Like just
talking
hearing
about
when
them
they talked
talk
about
her.
her.
Got it.
Oh, Oh, so you
from there I had heard that she was on
Fast
and Furious,
Okay.
and then I did some digging around to see more about her background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just the fact that she had been cast as Wonder Woman made me that much more excited about
Gotcha.
it.
Cool.
Well, I teach high school, and not only do I teach high school, I teach students with autism, and so I try to give my students, things to talk about, small talk. And so we watch movie trailers in my class on Fridays.
That's cool.
And just to give them material to talk about, And so as soon as the trailers came out, Matt would always show them to me. And so I'd make sure I'd show them to my class. So I've been watching the trailers for a while. And one of my students was like, finally, Miss Ritchie, your movie is finally out. So you can stop showing us the Wonder Woman. Get over the Wonder Woman. And so that, they always give me a hard time, but it was good. It was good. So I was just looking forward to that.
Nice. So did you have any expectations, or were you just?
I wanted her to. I really wanted her to be that balance of beautiful but strong, and I was really hoping that I was looking forward to seeing the lasso of truth and all of her special effects, all those special things that she had, and I was really hoping that the movie would portray her, not as someone who wanted to put others down, but that would work, alongside other people, and that all those boxes totally got checked. So.
Yeah, she totally did not disappoint.
Yeah.
I have to say that.
Can I add another one to my thing why I was excited?
No rules.
The music. That opening, that every time I'd hear that, I'd get
So okay, let's talk about that theme song. What do you think about that theme song?
We didn't finish the first question.
Sorry.
But that going with anytime I hear that, I'm like I get excited.
I play that song in my
We need to
head
go to
when I'm
video
getting
for
out
that
of the
face.
shower and getting ready for
right.
work. It's my theme song for the day. It's in my head.
It's great. I mean, I know that's
today
the
is gonna
music.
be a
Wasn't that the
kick-butt
music from the
day.
TV show?
No.
No.
That was
They
for Batman
used
versus
it.
Superman.
Yeah, Batman versus Superman when she entered in. That's the first time we heard that.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I thought that was something that they recycled from the.
Oh.
Well, I loved it.
Well,
And
the composer does a great job when they have some sort of theme and you think of that character and you just
Yes.
and even all the way in the end of the movie they after she totally takes out
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Wait,
Spoilers.
We're just gonna stop you there.
guys,
It's
it's been a
okay.
long time. We've already seen this movie twice.
I know, but
I know. We're gonna get
Just
there.
consideration.
For
It's
the
just
people
consideration.
that are listening, I mean, I have heard yet. They might be like, "Oh, so we're not going to spoil anything yet, but we will spoil stuff very soon."
Okay,
There
so
will be
there's a
spoilers.
point in the movie
Yeah.
towards the end,
Yeah.
and she has just shown her strength and her vulnerability all
Yeah.
at once, and the cello starts to play
Yeah.
her theme, and I just thought, wow! And the cello is the closest instrument to the sound of a human voice, and it moved me. It was so good, and then you see her boy, and in the end, and they play a trumpet for him, which you think of a trumpet, reminds me Americana, those sort of things, and just what his character stood for, fighting, till the end, and all those things. And so I thought the music was just so well done to even personify the characters.
Cool. That's good.
Boom.
yeah.
Man. The deep
You should have
cuts.
us on more often.
The deep cuts.
Damn,
Right.
yeah.
I know, man.
We should start our
I
own
was-
podcast.
The wives.
At first, I was actually
Instead of the wives are
skeptical.
OC, the wives of Let's Go.
What were you saying?
I said at first I was skeptical because when I was listening to Hollywood Babylon with Kristi and they said it's Gal Gadot, I knew who she was because I saw her in Fast and Furious. I was like, wow, that girl's beautiful. But so I was a little the only exposure I had was Fast and Furious, which those movies in their own right, they're so great. They're so terrible, so they're great.
They're not known for their gravitas.
Right. You're not like, oh my gosh, that's the best actress
Yeah.
or actor I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, I don't know. I'm indifferent. But Batman v Superman, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll see where this goes. But Wonder Woman, I mean, the movie was, top notch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. I didn't even know her from anything. I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. The Fast and Furious basically means if you can run while wearing a leather jacket and slide across a car, you're in that movie, you know, and maybe you had a rap album at one time. That's about it. So her
She had
being
a rap
in that,
album?
No, but that's basically like anybody.
Never mind. Never mind.
It's like, wait, hold on.
Follow me.
Jokes.
Ludicrous.
I'm pretty sure
I got
Ludacris
it.
was the only person,
I'm
but
with
that's
you.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever. but that's kind of like, I was like, I don't know. But I was also like, I'll give benefit of the doubt. I don't know anything. Like because from like the screen test, I guess it was like Ben Affleck was like, yeah, she's awesome. And so like, I trust Ben Affleck.
He probably said it just like that. Too.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
she's awesome.
she's awesome.
She's awesome.
How you like them apples? I got her number.
That was Matt Damon, by the way.
I know,
So.
but I was just
Okay.
making a callback. Dang,
Dang, corrected.
looks like
Oh
not
man,
that
I'm
good.
glad you said it.
I'm just enjoying this right now.
Wow. Okay.
Benta.
You had a show for 5 minutes. Now
Yeah.
it's
later on, we're gonna watch The Great Wall since she's such a Matt Damon
I
fan.
kind of watched that the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
I mean, I didn't
this
watch
ain't,
it.
This ain't
I
the
know,
Great Wall
okay.
podcast.
Matt Damon.
This is the Let's Go Wonder Woman crossover a go. So okay, so yeah, I don't know. I'll speak for myself. I was really excited for Wonder Woman to come out. Like it just looked so good. Like every trailer that came out, it kind of gave you more and more confidence. Like at first, it was kind of like, oh man, is this gonna be good? Cause,
Dude, when she's sliding on the floor
oh yeah.
with her shield.
That's the
Good
okay, that was the
stuff.
first thing I really saw because they did this like
It's in the trailers.
clip right when I think it was right before Batman vs Superman came out. They did a special show where they showed like a preview of some stuff.
Yeah.
and I was like, that looks cool. And they had her riding a horse, and there was like
Bless you.
more of a bless you, man. There was a that was very Wonder Woman of you. Bless you. Bless you. So that was cool, but it was kind of like that's it. That's all I can go off of. And just wasn't sure because I liked Batman vs Superman, but there was contention with it. A little people didn't like all of it, but so this movie I think it hit every note that it needed to hit. But going into it, every time a trailer came out, I was like, this looks really good. Like the first one was like, okay, I'm excited. This looks good. And that final trailer, I was like, this looks really good. I'm really excited about this and what it has the potential to be. So, yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think the only like question in my mind when I saw who they cast as Wonder Woman, even before Batman v Superman, was more like a curiosity of like, how is she going to portray strength? Because she's not the biggest person. Like you don't think like
Right.
strong.
She's
like you're
actually
like,
really
oh,
tall.
she's really pretty,
She's
but
5'10".
like,
Oh, really? Okay.
but you know what I mean, not your stereotypical like,
Right.
oh, she's super buff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it was not like, I think there were, of course, you're always going to have those dumb like comic book fans that like jump to the conclusion of like it's going to be horrible. Like I didn't do that, but I think I more just had the question of like, oh, I'm curious how like she's pretty. Like, is she going to be strong?
I think that was a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a lot of the
yeah,
controversy, I guess, of
of her
you
being
can't
cast.
just cast anyone as Wonder Woman. Like they
Yeah,
have
that-
to be.
It's such an iconic role, almost
Yeah.
more than
be
Batman or
Sandra Bullock.
Superman, because you haven't had anybody really do this in a movie yet.
Yeah.
Well,
and
and
so it was
she's
really
exposed.
huge.
It's not like you have like a big suit that's molded and
That's very true.
Oh,
things,
dang.
you know, like
That's good.
you've got to show your shoulders and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
your muscly legs
Yeah.
and things. So
Totally. And I think that was the only thing. Other than that, I was like, cool, let's do it. And then once she had her scene in Batman v Superman, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
She got it.
And then everything marketing wise, like Justin was saying, that came out from then on, I'm like, yeah, 100%. Even the posters, like Justin and I have talked about that before. Like, I think I pulled up all of them for Brittany like a week ago or something. I was like, have you just looked at all these posters? This looks incredible. Like, I was excited
I
just
haven't
based on
Looks
that. Like, they were
wonderful.
so,
And even just
so
the
good.
colors, like all the colors were so gold and like that aqua blue, and it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like warm.
They did such a
Yeah.
good job with the marketing.
So I was really, really excited. I talked her into going and seeing a late night showing on Thursday night, which was kind of, we
You
weren't
did
sure
not
if we were
have to
going
talk me into it.
Well,
I was
You
like,
did
so
not
when
have
are
to
we going
twist
to
my
see it
arm.
again?
the Thursday night aspect I had
And
to.
I don't like to see movies twice. I know, bad, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, but I think that gets into like non-spoilerly thoughts about the movie too.
Yeah, yeah.
That transitions to.
Did you have any thoughts,
Well,
Kelly?
I was just going to say that something my wife actually told me the other night that I didn't even know, because my mom was like, "Who was Wonder Woman?" You know, like she didn't. My mom doesn't. You know, she's my mom.
She
She
doesn't
doesn't.
listen to our show?
But Gal Gadot was actually in the Israeli army
Yeah.
and was like a total
Yeah.
BA, and I didn't know that, and I was like,
She was like
whoa.
a trainer or something too. Like,
So it totally makes sense, and it was very
2
fitting.
years.
Like knowing that background is like makes more sense
Yeah.
as opposed to like going in blind and going like, oh, I
like
wonder how
the-
she's gonna do.
Yeah,
But
because you
now
think
they're
like the skinny
oh,
Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
right.
well, it does.
okay,
It go,
like-
like it takes everything that she was good at, like, you know, being a warrior, and then being a model, and like mixing those things together. You know, you guys can't see my hand gesture.
Justin's doing the hand
The
wave.
worm.
but
It's
like
a
the
totally
handworm,
appropriate hand gesture,
Yeah.
by the
The
way.
handworm.
You can see it.
And it kind of works if you look at it, like, because you know, Wonder Woman is supposed to be like the this most beautiful goddess type of person, plus she's this warrior, and so so before we're gonna start merging into like movie talk. We're not gonna get spoilers yet, but we're gonna talk about general feelings about this movie now.
Okay.
We can even just say like first impressions.
Yeah, first
Like I
impressions.
feel like just a general
But-
like.
Yeah, there was a comic like years ago, and I think it was, this is really nerdy, but it was like, I think it was either Green Lantern or Flash or something like that, and they were like commenting on people in Justice League, and they're like, Wonder Woman makes you fall in love with her the moment you see her. Not because it's like, ooh, what's up, girl, hubba hubbas, but it's just like, you just love her because of how she like contains
just her
herself.
persona.
Yeah, her persona.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like a romantic thing. It's like, I love her. Like, she,
That
you know?
that totally came out in the
Yeah.
movie.
So, and I think that came out because of Gal Gadot. I think she was able to smile with her eyes.
She
You know what I'm saying?
smiles.
She was
right?
smizing?
She was
Smizing,
smizing.
dude. You know what I'm saying? From America's Top Models.
Babe, you have a good smize. You really do. Yeah.
Oh, look
Gotta
at
be
that.
Wonder Woman.
So does
I'll borrow
Wonder
some of
Woman.
those.
You need to
Borrow some
hashtag
of them
that
outfits
when
Matt
you
Ritchie
post
talks
this
about.
later.
Wonder Woman outfits. Hey. So,
But she definitely does emanate like that purity and that kindness and that truth and honor. I mean, she doesn't even have to speak. It's just she just is when you
Yeah.
see her. So yeah.
all right. So, favorite parts. We can start getting the movie stuff. What were some of the parts that you really liked? Try to avoid spoilers, but like, what were some parts that you were like, man, that was great?
Yes.
Yes.
All of it.
All of the parts.
Well, if we're trying to
So,
avoid
okay.
spoilers, maybe
How
we
about-
should just
Yeah.
well,
just go into
Well,
it.
I'll say this. This wasn't a spoiler, but
Okay.
I did make mental note
Yeah.
of this as I was watching the movie. It's the little things that I love so much. I won't give anything away, but the ice cream scene.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a
was
spoiler.
a
You can
big
talk about
deal.
That
Yeah.
was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
That
That
was
was
cool.
just like a perfect,
So
like.
that's a reference to a part
It's
of a
reference to a
comic.
comic
Is
too.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I think they pulled it off better in the movie. In the comic, it was kind of stupid. Not, it wasn't stupid, but
It
was
just
kinda
felt
stupid.
like forced,
Yeah,
like
it
kind of
felt
out of place
forced. Like,
to
what
where
is
the,
this-
the movie
What
felt
is
like
this
a
you
moment.
created in this? Yeah, it was way more subtle and like it was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
I can't say any more than that without giving stuff away.
You know,
Well, I think there's. What about this? How about this? Because I know, like Brittany briefly mentioned, like how did you feel leaving the theater after seeing it? That's like non-spoilery.
Okay, so I made a mental note of that too. So the way the movie opens.
Yeah. On Themyscira.
No, before that, her
Oh, when she's-
walking
oh,
to
yeah,
her
yeah, yeah,
office or whatever, and seeing. If you need to edit this out,
That's
I don't
fine. No,
know if
just
I'm
go.
giving too
Just
much.
go for
Opening her package and
Yeah.
you see it. I mean, we've seen that image before from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other movies. And then they end with that same image. I had completely different feelings, like a total,
Gotcha.
like 180. You see it and you think, I'm gonna give stuff away.
That's all
Let's
right.
just say it was. I just loved it.
Gotcha.
They just tied it up in a nice, pretty bow. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. There was a perfect amount of like heart and comedy and action. The chemistry between all the characters. And
Yeah.
I just loved it. I
yeah,
just
the
loved
chemistry
it.
was perfect between like Chris Pine
Yeah.
and Gal Gadot. Like, I feel like if he didn't have the chemistry, like if he didn't have that, what is it, that charm that he has, it wouldn't have been as great as a movie.
Not at all, because her character is, she's so naive and
Yeah.
has no idea. I mean, I'm going to give too much away. He cared for her, he nurtured her, and he
Yeah.
enabled her to be herself without I mean, it'd be very easy for him to have said certain things like, you're crazy, or that's not how life is, or whatever. And he just, anyway.
Movie was great.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I've been waiting for this. I could talk all 5 hours
we're
about
getting
it.
We're getting there. You were going to say something?
I can't remember.
How did you feel walking out of the movie theater?
Oh, yeah. How'd you feel walking out of the movie?
Okay. So
I
my
remember
turn?
exactly what you said to me, but you...
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to admit, I love the introduction and I love the ending. It was the middle part of the movie. I just couldn't. I'm thinking like, I felt like it was drawn out a little too much, and it was only until after the movie where I got some reference from you about how the scenes were particular to the events that took place in the comic book. For instance, the ice cream, and I'll go back to that because I think that's what I was going to say. It was about the ice cream scene. And then other scenes that took place. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have known that otherwise if I didn't read the comic book, and I didn't. So I came out with... I guess I should read the comic book. I mean, I don't feel like I need to at this point. I understand it, and overall, it was a great movie. It was just the middle part of the movie. I couldn't understand why all those parts were necessary.
The parts where she was going through London.
Just the randomness of her, like being so, like Kristi said, so naive about the world and what's going on. And even though, I mean, I understand, I expected that though, was the thing. I totally expected it. But going back to the ice cream scene, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Elf with Will Ferrell when he's like,
oh, totally.
You make the best coffee in the world. Congratulations. Like, it totally drew me back to that.
Gosh,
Like,
I never thought about that.
that's Elf. Like, she ripped Elf off. And,
World's greatest cup of coffee.
yeah, like, good job, guys.
Congratulations.
You know, like, smiling's my favorite. And then I couldn't get it out of my head after that. But
That's really funny.
so that's the only thing. But I can tell you, like, I was totally immersed in the movie right from the beginning, and then the end was just, it was phenomenal. Like, I was really sold on the end part, and then all of the one-liners, I think all of the statements that were made that I try to make a mental note of, and I think I kind of, you know, I could be somewhat accurate on reciting them, but like one of them where Chris Pines, his character, tells her, gosh, is this going to be a spoiler?
We can bleep you.
Okay. Where he says, I can save the day, but you can save the world.
Oh, that's fine.
I was like, yeah, you tell her that. She's going to save the world. I was so excited. I was so pumped. I'm like, you support
That's
your
awesome.
woman. But then not only that, you knew what, was to come. So it was kind of, yeah.
When we got out of the theater, all of a sudden, like, I was like, "Hey, did you like it?" She's like, "Yeah, it was good." She's like, "I used to be able to do those flips." All of a sudden, she's like, "I used to be able to do a kick like that." I was like, "What? You can do a backflip off of a horse? Tell me when you did that." She's like, "I can do a flip."
I guess we'll pop a shield off a
You
horse.
guys, seriously. Okay, so like, I partly came out, like, honestly believing, like, I think I can do that. Like, I think I can slide across the floor like that. And then I thought, yeah,
But she's,
that's
like,
not going to
cleaning the floor
happen.
instead.
But I was saying, you totally called me out. Like, I was like,
Yeah, well, that was the best part.
That's
what
an
made me
awesome
excited.
reaction, though.
thanks
I
for
was
shooting
like-
my dreams down.
Like,
No,
when we
just
come out of the
kidding.
movie, we're just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kick everyone's ass." Like, you came
Like,
out and you're like,
I am
"I can do a flip
Wonder
like that." That's cool. That's
Yeah.
that's like the appropriate reaction. Is
Yeah.
It's like
I think-
pulling out that kid when she was younger.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Because that's
can
what
do
like
that.
every boy coming out of like a Batman movie is like pretending to do all of the things that he's
Oh, yeah.
doing and thinking they can do that. And so I think that's something really special about this one that like
Well, Matt
even as a
Ritchie-
grown woman, you're like,
Yeah.
dude, I could
The
do that.
boy definitely came out in me. That's for sure.
I'm glad
Berg's
Burgundy's
inner
inner boy.
Yeah, my inner boy.
It's the takeaway.
Brittany Ritchie, how did you feel coming out of the movie theater?
I think I felt similar because I just felt like, man, I could be more myself. And, like sometimes
dang.
it's hard to be, it's just hard to be a woman. It's hard to know, like, when do I step out? When do I just, like, I love Wonder Woman's passions and her belief. Her belief was so true. And she really let that carry her and make her decisions. And she didn't think about, oh, is it going to be taken this way? Or, oh, is it going to be taken this way? She was really concerned for humanity.
Yeah.
And I felt like, wow, I think I should be more true to myself. Like, I don't need to apologize for all the times I want to lead, all the times I want to, go take care of people. And so, because part of it is in our society, I mean, a lot of women who are leaders aren't necessarily liked. And, I read a book by Sandra, what's her name from Facebook? I can't remember. But she talks about, about leading, and it's hard to be a woman and be liked. And that was one of the coolest things is I liked Wonder Woman after walking out of the theater. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like I can channel more of that and I can just be more true to myself.
That's awesome. Wow. That's like a good, like, what did you say again? You said, I felt like I can be myself.
Yeah. I could just be more true to myself. Wow. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So
dude, you need to tweet that and be like,
there you go.
Seriously. Cause they've been actually, they've been like Instagramming and tweeting
to thine
people's
own
thoughts.
self be true.
Like, oh, so okay, we're gonna wrap up this part of the show right now. We just want to say, like, here's a cool thing about Wonder Woman. It's number 1 twice in a row now. So last week when it came out, it beat all these like
Suck
records
it, the
and
mummy.
stuff. Yeah. What up? Wonder Woman just beat down Tom Cruise. What, Tom Cruise? Bam! Lasso of truth to the face.
You and your science.
No one wants to watch The Mummy. Yeah, you and your science. Tom Cruise. So Patty Jenkins, who directed this, the last movie she did was like Monsters Ball. Oh, no, not Monsters Ball. Sorry, that was in the movie. This was Monster. It was just called Monster.
Whoa.
Sorry. It was Monster with Charlize Theron. She did that. She won. Didn't she win an Academy Award for that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so.
And so this was like, this is her dream to do this. She actually wanted to do this movie a long time ago, and they said no. And so she got her chance. Somebody else was up for the spot to direct this movie, and they said no. She was Patty Jenkins was going to do Thor 2, and then they kicked her off of that. So I'm so happy she got to do the movie she wanted to do, and it's been so successful because can you imagine wanting to do something so bad and being told no, and then another opportunity closes, and you're just like, I'm going to do this. And so it feels like...
Dude, every day.
I know. I was going to say, my life story.
I'm going there.
Yeah, be Wonder Woman.
Because I don't know anything about...
I'm going to buy all you girls some boots. They're red.
Okay. I don't know anything about why she was told no or whatever. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to roll their eyes at me right now.
No, I'm not.
Not going to roll the eyes.
Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that she's a woman and
Probably.
maybe experience or her, I don't know, do we know anything background into why she was told no or why they wouldn't let her do it years ago?
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
They always say creative differences and stuff, but that could just be like, let's get someone who, like, I feel like the Marvel guys made a terrible decision because Thor 2 is probably the least loved of the Marvel movies. And
Really?
Just think if that could have been as
Thor
good
2.
as this.
Yeah, like look what she did. Like she doesn't have like an action background, but look what she pulled off. Like and we're gonna get into that soon, but there's a scene in No Man's Land, which is like my favorite scene.
I made note of that
movie.
too.
You know?
Maybe of any superhero movie ever.
Yeah,
Right.
it was an absolute phenomenal scene. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's one
I
of
think
those
that's a
deals
fair
where-
question to ask, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I
you know what,
think
you're
it
probably
could
right.
also be. I mean, it could potentially be because of timing too. Because now all of the Batman movies and Justice League
true.
is
Yeah.
coming out. Not to say
But they
whether
were
or not
trying
that
to
made
do a
it.
movie a long time ago, and they just said no.
Yeah, and
It's not
again,
right.
it could have been the timing. So I
Yeah.
guess it's really just all perspective. Nobody really knows except her, I'm sure. And
Yeah. And now she's
But-
like, suckers.
Yeah,
But,
either way,
yeah.
like she's
I mean, she's a
living
little
life right now.
Yeah.
She's a little part of Wonder Woman
Yeah.
too.
Sometimes
so.
you do these movies and the director, they get tied into like a deal to direct the next one, so
Right.
they can get them for a cheaper rate. Well, Warner Brothers was so like nervous about these movies, they didn't get her to sign like a deal to direct the second one, which is actually in her favor because now she can negotiate for a higher price.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely going to want her to come back to do the sequel. Now it's like, dang girl, make that money. So, anyways. So this is the end of this episode of the Let's Go podcast. So for our lovely ladies, how could people find you on social media if they want to go, yeah, girl power,
Girl power.
girl power, Bert.
Or just normal things
Or
that
just
don't
normal
sound
things.
weird.
Yeah. You're going to go watch the Spice Girls play or
Well,
something. I
if
don't
you
know.
just want to say hi. So you can find me on social media. How about Instagram at Bergrocka?
Hey.
I also have my business website, which is at ADYK Designs. That's ADYK Designs. And then Facebook on both. So
Cool. Kristi?
I'm not much of a social media person, unfortunately.
I follow you.
If anyone wanted to, Instagram is at all_heart. All heart, but underscore in between all and heart.
Brittany.
And you can find me at It's Brittany Ritchie. It's Brittany Ritchie. And because it's going to bug me, it was Sheryl Sandberg, and her book was Lean In.
Oh,
And
there
I
you go. Okay.
highly
Have it.
recommend. I
Have
think I
it.
combined Cheryl and Sandy. And that's how I
Yeah.
got Sandy.
You
but
should,
that's
you should Sandy from Facebook.
Cheryl Sandy.
Sandy from Facebook wrote a book.
But yeah, you can find other shenanigans like that from me on Instagram at It's Brittany Ritchie.
Awesome. That's one word. There's no underscores, right? Just
No underscores. It's
awesome.
Brittany Ritchie.
All right, Kelly, how can people find you, buddy?
Kelly_makes_music.
Yeah.
Boom.
Matt?
At Matt Ritchie, MatTrichey.
Cool. And you can find me at J_Rocka on Twitter or just JRocka on Instagram. But if you want to follow the show, hit at Let's Go Cast on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook.com/Let'sGoCast. Please visit our website at www.letsgocast.com. All right, so we're ending this first half of the show. To get the second part, you need to check out the Let's Go comic show, which will debut a day after this episode. And you can find that at Let's Go Comic Show on all social medias, or just go to our website at www.letsgocast.com. My name is Justin.
My name's Kelly.
I'm Matt.
Burgundy.
Kristi!
It's Brittany Ritchie.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's go.
Let the dinosaurs release the river. When the shores are bare, when these are shroud. This ain't a Broadway fight, bitch. Fucking choices, very funny how like his tourists kick the poker, it's kicking.